pass out a first-time visitors card. Not that any of you are first-time visitors, but I want to show you what we've been working on behind the scenes. Cynthia and I and Todd have been going back and forth. We came up with a new first-time visitor card. Just take a look at that, and when you're done, we'll stick it in the seat cover in front of you. And that way, when we do have first-time attenders, they've got something to look at. So I thought that was cool. That kind of gives folks a way to put something in their hand, right? Tells us a little bit about them and lets them know that we are happy they're here. So yeah, just take a look at that real quick, and when we get done, you can stick it in the chair, and we'll make sure it gets put in the right place. But I did want y'all to see that, and also we've got some new tithing envelopes on order, so we'll stick those on the back side of the chairs also. Just a friendly way to remind folks that if they want to give, then there's a way to do it. Of course, there's boxes in the back, but we're going to bring those back out too. Hopefully have those by Friend Day. So just a couple things we're working on to get ready for Friend Day. Friend Day's coming up in just a few weeks, so let's make sure we're inviting our friends, family, and neighbors to be a part of that. It's going to be a fun day. Got some activities going on for the kids. We've done a couple little advertising things. If you ride through town in Barnwell, you see the big billboard up there by the courthouse. You'll see Bethany Baptist Church on the big digital screen and promoting Friend Day and letting people know that we've got Friend Day coming up and they're welcome to be here. So when you ride by, take a look at that. See what we got going on. And there's also a very nice ad going in the newspaper today when it came out, and next week you'll see a nice color invite for the community to come to Friend Day. So if you subscribe, take a look at it. If you don't steal one, but get a chance, look at that. It's a nice looking ad, and there again, we just want to make everyone welcome and let all have a chance to know about the good things we're doing here at Bethany Baptist Church. Tonight we're going to do a Bible study, and the title is "Be Doers, Not Just Knowers." Be doers, not just knowers. That's going to be the title of tonight's Bible study. Tonight I just want to have basically an open and honest discussion about ourselves, our neighbors, and our community, and what we should do as the church to invite people and promote the good things of the house of the Lord, and to get out in the community and be a part of the community and serve the community. So the whole topic is to be doers, not just knowers. And we're going to start out by talking about the things that we do know. And we'll ask some basic questions. So our first question, we're talking about, being doers and not just knowers, is let's talk about what we do know. Let's say, what does Jesus say about your neighbor and your community? What does he have to say about it? Because that's what it should all be about, right? We're in church, we're serving the Father and the Son, and we need to know what they say about these things. So what does Jesus say about your neighbor and your community? Let's look at Matthew chapter 22. Matthew chapter 22, verse 36 through 40. I'm going to let, when Todd gets, is that good if I can see? Okay. Master, which is the great commandment in the law? Jesus said unto him, Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind. This is the first and great commandment. And the second is like unto it, Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. On these two commandments hang all the law and the prophets. The whole thing hangs on those statements. Is that not amazing? The whole thing. Love God, love your neighbor as yourself. So when you say love your neighbor as thyself, what does that mean? It basically says that, you give yourself the same degree of charity that you hope to offer someone else. Right? So you're going to love them, you're going to serve them, you're going to treat them with respect. That's what Jesus says. Well, you say, well, that's a pretty big thing to say, pretty big concept to absorb, and it is. It's something that we can, relearn and revisit many, many times, as we all have throughout our lives. And then I said, well, you know what? That's the question number one is, what does Jesus say about the community and your neighbor? And then I got to thinking, how does he know that? How does Jesus know that? Right? I mean, we're humans. We can ask a question and we go back to the Bible, we can find the answer. And if we look at John chapter 1 and verse 1, it says, in the beginning was the Word. That was Jesus. And the Word was with God, and the Word was God. So the beginning, man, we can't even understand beginning. I remember a young person in math class. I think it's math class, Todd. And I think it may be geometry. So they teach you about a line. And you put a line with an arrow that away. And you put a line with an arrow that away. And it's an endless, there is no end. Am I right, Todd? There is no end. When you put that arrow, so that's the beginning. It goes back forever. Basically, for us, it's hard to comprehend, but it's just been forever. He was there, and he will be there forever that way. And he can see forever above the whole line on both sides. Here, 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 here. So what's crazy is the things that we read and study in the Bible. Some of this stuff's written 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 years ago, written a long time ago. And no matter if we read it in 200 A.D., 500 A.D., 1200 A.D., George Washington reads it in 1700s, or we read it today, we can all read it and say, after you've read it, you can say, okay, now I know what to do. Now I know what I should do. So the whole time, during those thousands of years, you can pick up these same verses out of these same books and understand now I know. This is the truth. This is what I should do. This is how I should do it. Let's keep going. The same was in the beginning with God. All things were made by him, and without him was not anything made that was made. Nothing was made without him. In him was life, and the life was the light of men. And the light shineth in darkness, and the darkness comprehended it not. So we know that from those few verses, he was in the beginning. That's how he can know these things. Humans, all creation, humans were created through him, by him, and he's the light of the world. His light shines through the darkness, it says. He knows our nature, right? He knows our nature. He knows how we are, how we think, because he was here. He lived on earth. So he knows these things. So now we can say, okay, question one is, what does he say about it? And question two is, how does he know it? He knows all. He sees all. He's been here. He's walked the same steps on the same earth that we've walked. He knows our humanity. So that's how he knows. He created we're the beings. He created the beings, so he knows our nature. So I thought that was interesting, is that he was here from the beginning of time and knows all the answers to all these questions. So then I got to thinking, okay, so now I've thought through, what does Jesus say about these things? How does he know these things? Then I said, well, how does God the Father want you to treat your community? Right? We should know that. How does he want us to treat the community? Well, we can look at several verses. We'll go to Proverbs. A lot of times when I stand up here, I'll use Proverbs. It's very common sense. It's very basic for someone simple like me to understand. So what does Proverbs 19:17 say? We're talking about how does God the Father want you to treat your neighbors in your community. Proverbs 19, verse 17. He that hath pity upon the poor lendeth unto the Lord, and that which he hath given will he pay him again. Whoever is generous to the poor lends to the Lord, and he will repay him for his deed. So that sounds to me like God the Father wants us to be generous to people. That seem reasonable to y'all? That seems what it says to me. Let's go to Proverbs chapter 22 and verse 9 and see another verse. What does Proverbs 22 say about this? He that hath a bountiful eye shall be blessed, for he giveth of his bread to the poor. Okay, the generous will themselves be blessed because they're sharing. So God the Father says we should share. Seems reasonable. It's in the Bible. We're asking the question, what does he expect? There it is. So then I go to the New Testament. We go to Hebrews. So this was interesting. Hebrews chapter 13, verse 1 and 3. Let's start there. Let brotherly love continue. Be not forgetful to entertain strangers, for thereby some have entertained angels unaware. Remember them that are in bonds, in jail, as bound with them, and them which suffer adversity, as being yourselves also in the body. So it tells us to think about these things, right? And to people that are even in prison, that are bound, it says. And I think sometimes, I'm sure it's just human nature, man, they got what they deserved. That's human nature. God the Father says, be merciful to them. Right? Encourage them. That can be tough. That's what it says. Let's go to Hebrews 13 through 16. Hebrews 13 through 16. Yep, 13. I'm right there. Okay. Chapter 13, verse 16. Right, Todd? There we go. But to do good and to communicate, forget not, for with such sacrifices God is well pleased. So the first thing it says there is, don't forget. Do not forget. That tells me that we a lot of times will forget. It implies that doing good and sharing can be easily neglected or forgotten about. Right? It's easy to get caught up in our own lives. You have to be intentional. These things require us to be intentional. It says to do good. This refers to actively living out God's will through acts of kindness and justice and mercy. Right? We're supposed to do things, to do good. Share with others. Be generous. Be open-handed with what you have. That means money, time, food, presents, especially to those who are in need. And that can be, in need could be a lot of different things, right? In need could be that you in need of food. In need could be you're in need of a companion. In need could be, it could certainly be so many different things. It doesn't just require money. It requires your time. And it requires you to be intentional about what you're trying to do. And I think that's what Hebrews is trying to say here. Don't get caught up in our own lives so much that we forget about the other people. So we've talked about, what we know through God's Word. We've talked about what Jesus expects. We've talked about what God the Father has said through His Word in the Old and New Testament. That's the knowing, right? Tonight's topic is don't just know the Word, but be doers of the Word also. And that's it's can be challenging to do the knowing, but it can be even more challenging to do the doing. Doing requires us to exit the church building and to get amongst the people of the community, get amongst our neighbors, our friends, our family. It can be uncomfortable. Some people are unnatural with things like that. I think about David and Cullen. I mean, they're natural at meeting strangers and talking to people. Some people aren't. So, like myself, I'm not as outward as they are. So it takes effort. Some people it's effortless. Some people it takes effort. It doesn't matter. It's still got to be done. Whether it's uncomfortable or not, still got to do it. So we're talking about the doing. What does the Bible say about the doing? And we can go to the book of James. The book of James talks a lot about the doing. Chapter 1, James chapter 1, verse 23 through 25. But, okay, here we go. You good? Okay, 23 through 25. For if anyone is a hearer of the word and not a doer, he is like a man who looks intently at his natural face in a mirror. For he looks at himself and goes away and at once forgets what he was like. Now, wait a minute here. So that's like going in front of a mirror at your house, looking at yourself, and then forgetting what you look like. That's pretty bad, isn't it? That's interesting. But the one who looks into the perfect law, the law of liberty, and perseveres, being no hearer who forgets, but a doer who acts. I like that, a doer who acts. He will be blessed in his doing. So, maybe a simpler way to say that is anyone who listens to the word but does not do what it says. It's just like we talked about. You can't even remember what you look like. You immediately go away and forget what you look like. But whoever looks intently to the perfect law that gives freedom and continues in it, not forgetting what they've heard, but doing it, they will be blessed in what they do. So you will be rewarded. That's good. We shouldn't do it to get rewarded, but it's nice when you do get rewarded, right? It is. So that's what we're talking about when we're doing it, and it's very specific. Don't just be doers, but don't just be knowers, but be doers. And the good thing about our church is we've got a lot of doers in here. I look out, and y'all are all here on Wednesday night Bible study, which is awesome. It's good to have somebody to talk to when you're up here. It gets lonely, but it's good that we have so many doers amongst our congregation. A lot of people, they put their hands to the plow and they do things. And our job, the ones that are here, is to encourage the others. They're here on Sunday mornings or Sunday nights, or that occasionally come. Our job is to kind of, by setting an example, not knocking them over the head with the Bible. That's not the way to do it. We set an example. We are the example setters for everyone else. So, monkey see, monkey do, right? You lead by example. So, when they see you serving in the community, and having a good time doing it, then they want to join forces with you, and then they want to help do something in the community. So positivity will lead to more positivity, just like negativity will lead to more negativity. We want to be a very positive force in the community. We want to be someone that they say, "Wow, they're back at it again. I thought they were just doing something last Saturday." We're doing it to show people the love of God and show people what it means to serve. Jesus served. He washed feet. He doesn't ask us to wash feet in here. He asks us to be doers. So just in closing tonight, I want us to be doers. And so over the last few weeks, we've been thinking and talking, and we said, what can we do as a church to be more active and to do more? So I said, maybe we could come up with a few community service teams. Okay? So community connection crews. That's good, right? That's good wording there. The CCCs. Okay? So we can form little teams to go out and serve our community. That way we can get a lot done with a few hands. That's what I have to do every day at my real job. I have to do a lot with a few hands, and I'm sure many of you have to do the same thing at your workplace. So we think of how can we do that? We set up teams. So different things we can do. Maybe we do and I'm not sure how the slideshow goes, Todd. You can click to the next one. All right. So the nursing home. That's exactly what I was going to say first. That's cool. So the way these teams will be set up is we would have 6 or 8 people sign up to serve on this team. This particular team, Community Connection Crew Nursing Home. We would ask that team to go out once per month, just one time a month, and visit with the folks at the nursing home. Barnwell, Williston, or Blackville. Barnwell's very local. It's a very nice facility. The other two are also. we would get together. That team leader would set up a date. Say, okay, we're going to go out Thursday afternoon, 5 to 6 o'clock. We don't want it to be a burden for any of you all, but we want to be a blessing. So not a burden, but a blessing. I've done this before. This is a very humbling experience when you go in through the nursing home and you see folks that maybe nobody comes to see them. Maybe nobody goes to see them. They are very excited when our crew rolls through, and we only do it 2-3 times a year. But they've got an older guy. He's kind of the caretaker, and he will walk you through and introduce you to the different folks staying there, and they love it. Okay, and we try to bring a little gift. Nothing. We're not trying to pass out $100 bills. What we're trying to do is bring a little gift. I mean, it could be something so simple. I think one time, Jennifer, we took carnations. They're, probably less than $1 a piece. And you just, hand them out to the ladies, and, the men maybe get something else. So, great opportunity to serve our community and let these folks who cannot go to church, no matter how hard they may want to go to church, they cannot. It gives us a chance to go to them. Okay? So, I really like this one. I hope we can get a few folks signed up for this group. And when we sign up for these groups, we want it to be a mixture. We want it to be a mixture of our people. We don't necessarily have to be, we want it to be men, women, young, old. We want everybody to be involved. This is for, teenagers and up, 12, 13, 14, and upward. All these folks can participate. Wyatt and Wes has been going and doing this since they were 5 or 6 years old. So, yeah, we had 2 proposals for them. But anyway, so we'll go to the next slide, but keep that in mind. We're going to have sign-ups later, but I want you all to think about these things, and I want you to commit to it. I'm just asking for once a month. Most of these things are probably an hour or less. When we do the nursing home visit, we're not there more than an hour. We want an hour. That's it. Community Connection Crew Trash Cleanup. So you'll see advertised. Williston does it. Barnwell does it. Other groups do it. You will see it advertised where the community has a cleanup day, a trash pickup day. And a lot of times you have 2 or 3 people that show up out of a whole community. 4,600 people live in the city of Barnwell. And typically about 3 come. And that's the coordinator and maybe his wife and 1 or 2 more people. It's really sad. When you see the Facebook pictures and you see this is a good thing. They're not asking you to pick up trash for 8 hours. It's typically a 1 to 2 hour event. They provide you with bags. They give you a little clicker, pick, 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 pick. And you're in and out of there, in an hour or 2. And you can do a lot of good for your community. You will meet your community members. It gives us a chance to connect with other people, clean up our town, 1 bag at a time. Great thing to do. I've always been big into this. I've done this a few times, not as much as I should have. But this is cool. I wouldn't mind doing it and being part of either of the first 2. These all sound good. Let's move on. Community Connection Crew Sports Practice. So Barnwell City has a nice recreation department, and they have different sports throughout the year, whether it's spring, summer, fall. There's baseball, there's football, they have a soccer, they've got all kind of cool things. And there's a lot of parents and kids out there on these events. It's nothing to have 200, 300 people out there just hanging out watching kids practice. Not even at the games, just watching practice. Our thought is, let's set up a little table, have a Bethany Baptist banner, have 2 coolers full of ice water, and hand it out to whoever wants it. Just hand out waters. And we've got invite cards. We can invite them to church. We can speak to them. We can simply let them know that Bethany Baptist cares with a bottle of water that costs $0.25. I mean, really, it doesn't cost much more than $0.25, right? You can buy a case for $5. Very minimal cost, not a lot of time, a couple bags of ice, a borrowed cooler or 2, and an hour and a half. It doesn't take long. Practices are maybe 2 hours. This team might show up at Lemon Park at 5:30 and they'd be out by 7 o'clock. They'd be gone. Or when the waters give out, So great thing to, there again, connect with people of our community. where we want to serve the community. We want to find ways to serve the community better. We already do a lot. We want to do more. What we got next? Is that it? One more. Okay, Community Connection Garden, the community garden. So we have a community garden. They meet a few times a year. This group would meet with those folks. They clean the garden up. They plant fresh vegetables. They harvest vegetables. A lot of kids show up. A lot of kids that have never gardened before, or they don't know where a squash or a piece of corn comes from. Those folks are there, and we want to be there with them. So this group would be there just a few times a year with the community garden, or whatever is asked by us, or once we get involved, and we help out. So it's a great way to encourage young people to be outside. My kids love to be outside, and they love to be in a garden somewhere, and they love the fresh fruits that come off we've got figs and peaches and all kind of stuff. Weston always brings me a fig, I think, every day. I can't eat all the figs he brings me, but yeah. So it's cool to garden. It's cool to make the connection, and there's our opportunity. So if you like that kind of thing, it's a good way to sign up and be a part of their group. Is that it? Huh? The mission, of course, the homeless mission. So helping the homeless. This will be our first scheduled event to serve. It's August the 16th. We leave the church at 2:30. We need to prepare food. We need people to help prepare food. We're going to serve the homeless folks food, and then we're going to do a church service at the end with them. We've done this before. It's been a few years. It's a very humbling experience. The times I've been, the folks are very thankful. They're happy to see us. They're thankful for a home-cooked meal. They're glad to sing with us. They're attentive to who preaches. So this is a good thing that would involve all the teams. So there would be events throughout the year where all of our teams would come together. So we'd have our little mini teams that would go out once a month, and then periodically we would schedule events that all the teams would be invited to help serve. And this will be the very first one, August 16th. It's only 3 weeks away. Yeah, only 3 weeks away. So it gives us something to look forward to. It gives us something to participate in. It's an hour drive. We can, I think, all sustain that and help out. I think the more the merrier, don't you, Todd? I mean, let's load up and let's don't send Todd by himself over there. Okay, so Todd will do it, but let's be with him. Todd can't cook with so much rice. Okay, somebody got to cook the beans. So that's what we want to encourage our church to do, is to be super involved in our community by joining one of the community connection crews and participating. So what we're going to ask you to do is, we've got a couple sign-up areas. I think we've got a couple tonight, right, Todd? Of spots to sign up if you want to go ahead and choose one. Once we get some teams built, we'll kind of designate a team leader, and that leader will simply be the communicator for the group. You'll send out a text, hey guys, we want to try to get together, and we got a trash pickup coming up. I know there's one coming up in October we've already looked at for Williston, I believe it is. This is the first one. I think there's one in Barnwell maybe sooner than that, but I know there's one in October. That the team leader would basically be the communicator. Hey guys, we're going to meet at 9 a.m. City Park in Williston. Let's be on time. Bring our smiles. We're going to have our Bethany Baptist shirts on, and we're going to meet people. We're going to purposefully meet people, and we're going to purposefully tell them about our church and tell them about Jesus and tell them about how we want them to be there. We want them to be involved if they want to be. There's a place for them. If they want to have a place, there's a place for them. So that's what I got. I did want to mention this. If we do this, and if we only had 3 teams, which I think we can do all 4 or 5, but if we only had 3, we would be able to serve 36 different ways the first year. 36 different ways just by each team doing 12 events per year. That's a lot to be out. I mean, for a small church in a small town, that would be awesome if we could pull that off. And it takes you. It takes you wanting to participate. And it's something we should be happy about. It should not be, If it's burdensome for you, then you probably don't need to do it. I'm just gonna be honest with you. If you gotta come with the mully grubs, nobody wants to see all that. Come with a good attitude, ready to help. You know what I'm saying? Nobody wants to be involved in all that. So come happy to serve. Like I said, be positive. Positivity brings more positivity. So we've talked about our first official event is August 16th. So make sure, I think the sign up for that is over here. Yep. Todd, you want to? Yep. I'm going to let you come up and finish this thing out. I am done. I hope I had something good to say that you can use. But thank you.
Hey, our goal throughout the summer has been to get many voices heard because that's biblical. It's what the Bible wants. It's what Jesus wants. And the goal with this is to get many hands out. God works through every Christian. It's not certain Christians that are supposed to do this. And look, even if you can't sign up or commit to something, you're still supposed to do this and obey the Bible. Okay, that's for everybody. It's not because you're on a crew that now you got to do it. No, this has always been true. This has always been done. We're just trying to organize it. And I'll be honest, most of this stuff, we're just partnering with people that already do it. Partnering with Mr. Ben Kinlaw, who does a trash pickup. Partnering with the community garden, who already does it. We're doing these things. So here's how the rest of the night is going to work. I'm going to take about 10 minutes and let y'all sign up, kind of mingle. So over here are the sign-up sheets. You've got your 4 sign-up sheets for your cruise, and then there's a sign-up sheet for Garden City. Now, you can put if you want to help prepare the food or if you want to go over there with us. We need both, okay? So you can do one or the other or both. That's fine with us. On this table is going to be more of our actionable stuff. I've got 2 cards here. On the right side, there are prayer cards, and we're going to serve our community. We're also going to pray for our community because I think God would have that too. So if you're a prayer warrior and you say, I want to pray for my community, I just want to know how. There's 12 different things you can pray for. Some of them are like school teachers, so woohoo. Some of them are like firefighters. Some of them are for more practical stuff, helping people with addiction, helping people that are homeless. Those are all the things you can pray for, and it tells you that. And it's also got a spot where you say, I prayed today, right? And you put today's date. And we want you to pray throughout the week for these things. Then there's another card that are more ideas. So like Brother John just told me, Brother Dan Fogel does a rant ministry. We can partner with him. And we're not limiting ourselves to these things. We're still going to be church people that help people. So if we need a ramp built, we're going to try to help where we can because we got people that want to do that. But over here on these cards is a card that says, this week I pledge to serve my neighbor by blank. We've had a lot of great ideas. We've had a lot of stuff come up. I hope God's laying on your heart a way for you to serve specifically that may be outside of this. I want you to put that on your card. Keep the prayer cards to pray for them. If you want to turn to the pledge cards, you can. And the last thing we're going to do together is sign our poster here. Now, here were my instructions to Miss Cynthia. I said, this is this morning now, so you got to bear with me. I said, do your best to make it look nice, okay? And so we've got a little poster because we had this. And we're staying frugal in all this. This is our poster that we had in the Be Kids, and we printed this out. And all this is going to say is, I commit to help serve my community. That's all this is. And I want you to, if you're going to do this with us, if you're going to sign up for a crew or Garden City, or if you're going to pray, or if you're going to find another way to serve, I want you just to put your name on here. Put your family's names. You can put your name on here. And we're going to hang this in the church as a reminder to us that we're going to do this. Just like the stones that Joshua put up. We're going to do this. So let's take about 10 minutes, and then about 7:40, we're going to come back and sing a short hymn together, and we'll be dismissed. Okay, sound good to y'all? All right, sign-up sheets over here, prayer cards and pledge cards here. Pledge poster is up here, and I'm going to get some pens and Sharpies for us. So move around, mingle. Get your feet going. right, church, we are going to dismiss. Just remember those simple words. Be doers, not hearers only. We've heard a lot, but now let's go do. Let's put our hands to the plow and let's serve. We'll see y'all this Sunday, 10 a.m. It's going to be good. Oh, the community garden. I thought you meant Garden City, the mission.
Community gardens next door to my house.
What you mean you got anxiety with it?
I don't mess with all the veggies and I don't mess with all that. I'd rather just go